get going, let's introduce our panel to you. Ben, you know everyone here better than I do, so maybe you can help me out with the introduction.
Okay, first of all, we got Anthony over here from Infinity Gaming. Then we have, next to him we got Alex from VNR, Elwin from White Rabbit Gaming, and right in we got Mo from Carbon eSports.
Okay, awesome. Alex, maybe let's start with you in terms of tonight's announcement, your impressions on what was discussed and shown to the world tonight.
Yeah, the guys are overly excited about it. This means it'll formalise the local esports scene for us. So yeah, the guys are overall excited about it, can't wait to get part of it. It also gives the other players the opportunity to get to know the esports organisations within their community as well.
Then Infinity, what does this do in terms of NGOs and moving forward with sponsorship? I'm sure it's a much easier sell after tonight.
Yeah, I think it's been, for the last couple of years, it's been really difficult to sell numbers to people who don't really understand the industry. It sort of opens up the public's eyes to what it is that we do and how viable it is as a marketing strategy to invest in esports here.
Okay, and then Carbon, in terms of just recruiting players now, how does this change your process in terms of knowing now that there's $1 million on the table, and of course, that's only the beginning in terms of what you achieve locally, you can go overseas?
Yeah, I think it does change the landscape quite a bit. This is something that the industry and the community has been asking for quite a while. And I think what this has done for esports in the country is really elevated. Telkom really raised the bar on this one. So I think we'll see a lot more people now that there's something to play for into the competitive scene, and really realizing I can actually do something with this.
The Carbon right at the end there, just thinking about what this does for the players. I'm sure it changes your mindset as someone who is looking at doing this professionally and now realizing that the structures are almost in place for that to be the case.
No, no doubt. Before the Masters was announced for DGL, we had seeding, and teams relied on having 4 players. So for an NGO to remain in, for instance, the Premier Division, they'd have to have players with that 4 status. So the players themselves held all the power, and they could kind of move across teams as they wanted. Now that's shifted. The core policy has gone out of the window, and now the NGOs have that seeding. So the NGOs can now actively look for the best possible lineups, and they're not held to ransom, I suppose, to 5 players.
Awesome. And then Veneration, in terms of some of the big rivalries in the scene, and maybe some of yours and ones that you like looking at from afar.
Yeah, I mean, Bravado has always been at the top of the Dota pinnacle. They've been setting the benchmark for us for a long time now. As of late, the White Rabbit Gaming team actually got on to point there, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see some good Dota from them. For the rest of us, we've always been in the Premier Division, and the competition has been really stiff between a lot of us. So this really gives us the opportunity to step up our game and then get on point with the rest of the two.
Okay, now he speaks about it being such a tight space to operate in because the levels are so high. What's going to make the difference now, especially after an announcement like this? Is the recruiting going to get better, or is it about the fine margins when you add a level like this? What's going to be the differentiator between the teams?
I think there's going to be a lot of international coaches coming into the scene. The guys have got more funding to be able to afford those kind of things. It's really going to come down to differences like other professional sports like football and stuff have, where it comes to psychological differences in pure skill, differences in talent, natural talent, and those kinds of things. Yeah.
Okay. And then Carbon, in terms of looking at the future of this preparation now, knowing that the stakes are so high, how's that going to change amongst your NGO in terms of preparing for such a big competition as the Masters?
Quite a popular term in esports is a thing called boot camping, where you get the players all in one house, whatever, get them as close to that LAN environment as possible. They have to be right next to each other, prep them psychologically. And I think, as Anthony said, with funding and stuff, that's going to be more feasible. In the weeks leading up to the tournaments, every team in Masters is going to want a boot camp, and players are going to want to spend, up to 25 hours in the game a week, and possibly even double that pre-tournament.
White Rabbit, so Dota 2 is one of the biggest, most popular games in South Africa. How do people get involved, and how do they keep tabs on the NGOs that are currently involved in Dota 2?
Okay, well, what the Masters is currently doing for gaming in South Africa is very similar to what we are seeing in rugby, for instance, where you have the Super Rugby tournament, which is quite an elite tournament. And to work through the ranks, what players can do is literally just play in the DGL, become as good as you can, and then get picked up by one of the bigger NGOs and actually go from there. And in terms of people following, there's social media pages for pretty much everyone. You can follow your favorite athletes, and the DGL definitely gives that space for not only friends and family, but supporters as well to track the progress of their favorite teams and athletes.
Thank you very much to my panel. It's basically a brief breakdown of Dota 2 and of course after tonight, the future for that game on this platform.